Ooh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Degen U. Not the first time we've done this. First time we've called it this, but look at the U. I don't like doing that, but no, that actually is not what that means. No, we're coming to you live pre-game for the college football slate. We will be talking a little bit about what's going on today in the Oklahoma and Baylor game, but mostly let's just talk about what our picks are, who we're playing today for this big slate. This is a lot better slate than we've had, I feel like, the last 2 weeks.
Yes. Although last week I felt really good about the slate and I ended up doing really bad.
Well, that's like every week for me, it feels
Yeah.
like. But solid MAC weekend for both of us, I believe.
Yeah, I parlayed it, so I hit 3 or 4, but didn't win shit because I parlayed it. Need to stop doing that. I tell myself every week that I will not parlay any games, and then every week I do parlay.
Yes.
Even last night, threw a parlay down that ended up losing the final leg. Thanks, Villanova. That's why we don't bet on college basketball. But yes, straight up, I would have gone 3 out of 4 on my matching picks.
Yep. I went 3-3 on Tuesday. Obviously, Northern Illinois, Rocky Lombardi and the Huskies. Let's fucking go. Hit for me on Wednesday as well. But that brings us now to the main slate of the college program. And before we get into the picks, well, we probably should pretty soon for the noon picks. Obviously, we're big Lane Kiffin guys.
Always.
Big Lane Kiffin guys. Dennis Trusty, what up? Big Lane Kiffin guys. Let's look at the current odds right now of the Heisman, as, of course, Matt Corral was a big play in that. We got Bryce Young plus 200, Kenneth Walker plus 400, Stroud plus 450, Caleb Williams coming plus 550. There's no way that hits. There's no way he wins the Heisman, right?
No, he doesn't have the full season.
Yeah. This is as of Bet USA, I believe, is where I got these odds. Kenny Pickett plus 1,800. Do you still place that bet on Matt Corral or no?
Well, I got him plus 2,000 preseason.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I take a flyer on it. If he plays well tonight and they beat Texas A&M, a top 15 team in primetime, his stock is going to go up. If they lose tonight and he struggles a little bit, his stock's going to go down. So if you were going to take it, I'd say take it now because it can only go up. And if they lose the night, it's pretty much non-existent that he's not going to win the Heisman.
He's the only one too in that where I feel like you're going to get paid anything if you hit it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go any higher than like the Bryce Youngs and the Kenneth Walkers right now.
Yeah,
and we're not far off from Heisman voting. Like, we're not far away from that. So
no, it's November 3rd or what? 13th today, 14th. Like we're literally like a month away,
which is crazy because it doesn't feel like there's that clear cut 1 or 2 people, like we normally have at this point in time. So yeah, you took it obviously before the season, but even at plus what did we say 650?
Yeah,
we had. Yeah, why not? Who knows how the last 3-4 games will shake out. But we don't have too much time before the noon games kick off. So before we talk about anything else, let's just cover noon picks. So we have those in and done with prior to actually kicking off. What give me your favorites here for 12 o'clock games.
I took Baylor plus 5.5 earlier this week. I saw money was shifting towards Baylor, so I wanted to get the better number. It does kind of scare me a little bit seeing the amount of public money that is on Baylor currently, but I like them at home. Home dog has been treating us well all season, coming off a loss. They do have a strong defense, which I think can give Oklahoma fits. And, Oklahoma on the road is a little bit of a different football team. We saw that against Kansas. So hoping there's a little bit of that magic today. Other than that, I haven't taken it yet, but I'm looking hard at Syracuse plus 3.5. They've been very kind to me against the spread this season. However, I'm actually higher on Louisville than most people are for a 4-5 team, but we'll probably stay away from that. Just light action for the early slate for me, just because I'm so god awful at it.
Fair point.
really
I went opposite. I went opposite on that Baylor Oklahoma. I did take Oklahoma -4 because Caleb Williams has since taking over against the spread. They're a much different team. Before Caleb Williams, they were 2-3. After Caleb Williams, they're now 3-1. That Kansas game was a little bit of an anomaly. Other than that, covered with ease in most games. I'm going to stick, and 4 points is not a lot for them to cover. If they are the 9-0 team and that they think they are, and going into now, like they got to make a move to get in the playoffs, which is kind of weird. They need to start making like these dominant games, these statement games, and I'll take them by more than 4, this being one of those ones as they continue their road to the college football playoff. So I like Oklahoma -4. Anything else you got in the early slate? No.
Nah. I looked at some. The only other one that really caught my attention was Syracuse getting 3.5 on the road. Evenly matched teams. Syracuse actually might be a little bit better, but I'm gonna talk myself into it. I'm gonna take it right now. Fuck it.
Yeah, 8-1 against the spread. Syracuse, I think they're tied with UTSA as the best against the spread team in the country right now. How can you not take Cuse? 8-1 against the spread. Why not? Yeah. The only thing is I've liked Louisville for a long time too.
Yeah,
Louisville's strength of schedule is a lot better. I want to take Syracuse. I'd lean towards taking Syracuse. Let's take Syracuse. I'm on board. Let's go. Let's take Syracuse. I'm in. Let's do it. I'm going to place it right now just because I get it. I like it.
I like that we're opposites on one and together on the other. Prototypical of us.
Yeah, that's fine. D-Rest says no one's watching you talk to yourselves except me because I'm off my meds. Well, it's 3 of us. Hey.
Yeah.
Takes more than 2 to tango. We got 3. Let's go. Dennis took the under is it the Louisville and Cuse game?
I would assume so. What's that total at? 55.5. Ooh, that's kind of low for college.
Well, Dennis does know Louisville. That's his team, right?
That's true.
I would probably take his word for it there. I'm going to take Mississippi State.
You're not a firm believer in our guy Bo Nix.
Well, I'm a firm believer in the fact that if Bo Nix doesn't show up, which he does not sometimes, then they're the most beatable team in the country. Northern Illinois and Rocky Lombardi can go in there and beat Bo Nix on a bad day because that's how Bo Nix is.
Yes.
What I will take is Will Rogers out there slinging the ball against what is, I think, an overrated Auburn secondary. They got that McCready kid who's
and that's it.
An absolute stud. Everyone else back there is terrible.
Yep.
Not that Mississippi State has these great receivers, but they don't need to. That secondary is not very good. And I think, you look at Mississippi State, who throws the ball like 70% of the time. Dude, give me Will Rogers out there just slinging it like a mofo and just getting points.
I like that. I just kind of stay away. Auburn hasn't treated me well this season in any capacity, so that's why I shy away from that.
This will be the game Bo Nix goes for like 450 yards and 5 touchdowns or something stupid. But right now, when I look at that and when I look at value, I'm like, yeah, give me Mississippi State.
Yeah, nothing else in that early slate really grabs my attention.
Because I'm going to keep going then. I'm taking the Wolverines on the road too. -2. I got it at -2. It's 2.5 right now. I'm not a huge believer in Penn State. I don't know why. I feel like Michigan State, especially after the loss last weekend, they bounced back nicely in this game. They got nothing really to look forward to. They have to win now. I'm Not the last week, obviously. The Michigan State game. I think that set them off. I think they'll just continue. They'll win out, I think.
You going to take them over Ohio State?
Win out. They'll cover against Ohio State. How about that? Okay. That's a better way to put it, I guess. I think. Yeah. Well, when win out, I think they'll play their best football this year, the rest of the way.
I mean, obviously, anything less than 3.5 point spreads has pretty much wrecked me this entire season. Mm-hmm. But the total being at 48 makes me want to jump at that under too, just because of how strong Penn State's defense is and how bad their offense is. Like, what's the weather like out there today?
Probably not good. I'm in the Midwest. It sucks here. It's probably going to be cold, maybe rainy, snowy.
Ooh, it's 38. Got a little bit of rain that just passed through.
Yep. Yeah, it's not going to be good. All right, so more noon games I'm going to take, along with the Wolverines. Actually, I love the noon slate, weirdly. UConn, plus 40.5. Dude, I just don't believe in Clemson enough to think that they're going to cover 40 points against any team that has 11 players on the field.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to score 40.
Yeah, like I cannot take Clemson Tigers that are this caliber of bad to cover 40. This line is made because they are the Clemson Tigers and they're playing UConn. UConn, they're pretty bad. Guess what? So is Clemson.
Yeah. So you're not going to ride Lady Luck? Clemson with back-to-back weeks covering in the final minutes of the game?
Well, they don't have nothing to play for if they're going for a 40-point win. But look at UConn is 4-5 against the spread. They're better against the spread than Clemson is, and Clemson's won 6 games. I mean, they had to struggle. Like, this is how bad this game is, and I love it. Because I will watch it intently. Let's look at the way Connecticut has covered some of these games. They covered. They were 3.5 point underdogs to Yale, and they won. And they won. They were 15-point underdogs to Vanderbilt, who went winless last year, and they lost by 2. They were 31-point underdogs to Wyoming. They lost by 2. They were 34-point underdogs to Army. They lost by 29. I like this UConn team to cover 40 points against a Clemson team that just isn't very good.
Yeah, I don't hate that pick either, especially just because it's so many points. You know what I mean? It's just
why not? You got at this point, Clemson. What do they have? Like they've been a team who is consistently challenged for national championships. They're 6-3. They're not going there. They're not going to. They have nothing really to play for. UConn, this is their Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, this could very well be a 35-0 game because Clemson's defense still has something in the bank. Like, but still cover,
I love UConn here. Also going on the noon games. Did I have one more? I said I was going to take Oklahoma. I'm very well considering Houston minus the 25. I like the Cougars. And I'm not going to take Rutgers for the first time in this, and they will cover. I guarantee it.
Yeah, is Wisconsin back to being Wisconsin?
But that line's too big for me. It's been moving. It was at 24 like a minute ago, now it's at 25.
Yeah, I mean, is there a prop on Northwestern's team total? Because I would take under
probably
7.
You can look that up.
But the season's shaping up to kind of what we talked about Wisconsin normally being, winning the West and then just getting clobbered by Ohio State in the big. Well, I mean, but Wisconsin's defense can hang.
No, why not? Was I looking for a Wisconsin team total?
Yep. Or Northwestern team total.
That's right. Oh, I can't find it. I'm in Illinois. Northwestern's in Illinois.
Oh, right.
FanDuel won't let me bet it.
Wisconsin allowing 213 yards a game and giving up 15.5 points a game. And that factors in all of those special teams and pick sixes against Notre Dame. So I'd like to know the true number of what Wisconsin's defense gives up per game. Jesus Christ, Georgia's allowing 6.6 points per game.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's pretty good, I guess.
I like my guy Ed Reed chiming in. Anytime anybody asks if the Georgia defense is better than the 0-1 Miami Hurricanes, Ed Reed likes to jump in and correct that right away.
She should. Who better to do it? All right, so noon games. I think that's all I got. I don't know. Yeah, I leaned towards taking Northwestern because I just didn't know if Wisconsin would score 25 points because they could easily dominate that game and win 21-0. But
they're back to Wisconsin football.
Are they? Who knows? Northwestern 3-way team total over 7 at plus 100. All right.
Maybe get some garbage time points in the fourth quarter.
So I do have some cool graphics. Bam!
Oh, God, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I stole that from Barstool. So we've talked about a lot of the noon games. You have anything West Virginia? I don't like West Virginia on the road.
Yeah, I mean they're a completely different team at home and on the road. That's what made me stay away there. But I mean they can make it competitive. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about Kansas State. Really haven't paid much attention to them this year. So
right. Well, why would you?
You're not going to have any action on Bucknell and Army?
I hate fucking service schools, man.
Yeah.
Hate them. God, they're boring. They're shitty. Why would anybody watch those? Well, let's move on then to the 3 o'clock slate, or depending on where you're at, it's, I guess, a little different. But take that down. There we are. Best bet right now, 3 o'clock or later. Or not later, but 3:30 slate. Tell me. Best one. Go. Quickly.
The Miami Hurricanes -2.
Oh, stop it.
Going against my home dog theory. I'm a Miami homer. I jumped on the bandwagon in 2001 in my youth. I'm sticking with it. Miami's won 4 in a row against Florida State. They beat the absolute shit out of them last season, and I feel like we talked about that Miami team having Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, Jalen Knighton at running back. They have those positions solidified. My guy Rambo out there on the outside. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I also think the Canes win by 10.
Okay, now give us one that's realistically going to win.
Ohio State and Purdue. Purdue or Ohio State is going to cover the 20.5 points it's at now. It is a prototypical AJ fade the public play. There is so much money on Purdue right now. There's so much hype around it because it's a top 5 matchup. I think this is a prime spot for Ohio State just to put the boot to them.
Well, I think I think a lot of that is coming from what Purdue did 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah, and even last week against Michigan State.
Yeah, but it was that win against who the fuck did they beat?
They beat
Iowa. That's right. At Kinnick.
Yep.
And it was like all of a sudden we think Purdue's this great team. I get it. They're 6-3. Cool.
Yeah, they're a good team.
But Ohio State's it's Ohio State, people.
Yeah.
I
mean, Purdue is so up and down. They got waxed by Wisconsin at home. They got beat by they got waxed by Wisconsin. Minnesota beat them at home, and then they wipe the floor with Michigan State. They're just all over the place. And with all that public money on Purdue, I have to go Ohio State.
Yeah. 20 is a lot. I'd stay away from it, but I don't think you're wrong, if that makes sense. I'm going to go, let's stay in the Big Ten. I'm going to take Iowa -4. at Kinnick.
Yeah, Minnesota, the worst 6-3 football team of all time.
Maybe ever.
I don't understand how they're not 7-1. I still don't know how they lost to Bowling Green and Illinois. Like it just,
that Bowling Green, because it's not like, okay, if you lost to like Northern or Western Michigan, Central Michigan, any of like the top MAC schools, you lost to Bowling Green, who's not like Bowling Green just got the shit kicked out of them last week or on 3 days ago.
Yeah,
like,
that's the one I was on the wrong side of.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think most of us took Bowling Green plus the 10 or whatever.
Yeah,
and as 30-point favorites, you lost and only scored 10 points at home.
Yeah,
that's a bad loss.
And I was defensive something still.
Yeah, but yeah, let's not forget about quarterback change for Iowa, I believe, this game. Correct?
I am not sure one way or the other.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. Because Iowa's our offense has been abysmal. We're getting a little bit of a mix up there, which makes me feel a little bit more confident in that pick. I can't even tell you who's going in the game, but I don't care because we're changing the offense a little bit. So obviously there could be a spark. Who knows? It's Mike White entering after watching Zach Wilson play.
Yeah.
So I like Iowa -4 there, especially at home. What else? 3:30 slate. Go.
I'm taking under 56 in Georgia and Tennessee. Tennessee lives and dies off the big play, and you get 3rd and 10 against this Georgia defense, it's over. Like you don't stand a chance. So I think Georgia's going to control the tempo of that game entirely, and it's going to be one of those 31-7, 31-10 type games.
Interesting you brought that up. I'm going to take the Volunteers plus the 20.
It is a lot. I mean,
I like the Volunteers here actually a lot. I don't know. They're not going to win this game. Maybe. Who knows? It's college football. Anybody can. But I do love the prospect of two quarterbacks who, when under pressure, one of them shines and the other one doesn't as much. And you wouldn't know it because one of them has never been under pressure. And I do think that maybe they have a little bit more of a chance here. Tennessee is a weird team.
Yes, they are.
A very weird team. If they were wearing the black unis going into this game, I'd be like, yeah, they win by 100. But they're not. But I still think they're a good team. And old TJ Hooker back there at quarterback for them, I think is very underrated so far this year. And what impresses me the most is his offensive line is abysmal. He's still under pressure, has a 122 quarterback rating under pressure.
It's those big plays.
That's what I'm saying, man. And I think, look, he's going to be under pressure against this Georgia defense. Maybe he makes some things happen. This is kind of where he wants to be. Get out of the pocket, scramble around, improvise some plays, and see what happens. So I think they'll get those big plays. And I think they'll keep it competitive long enough for me to stay within 20. So I'll take them, especially, at Neyland. That place is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Let's go. 10, the Vols at home plus 20. Give it to me.
What else do we have here?
Oh, and I'll go real quick into one. Give me the Charlotte 49ers plus the 7 on the road at Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
By like a lot.
Yeah. They the 49ers have treated you well. Treated us well a couple times this season.
Chris Reynolds and the 49ers. Fucking love that team. Give me 7 points on the road. Hell yeah. Against a 2-7 team who's also awful against the spread. Yeah, Charlotte wins that game by 10.
Another one I like, and this is a Jersey play.
Ooh, I love Jersey plays.
Michigan State minus 11.5. They're going black and lime green, it looks like today. Give me Sparty in a bounce back against the not so good Maryland team.
I went the opposite. Damn it. I didn't go the opposite. I leaned towards Maryland though to cover. I don't know why, but I did. I probably wrote it down somewhere. I didn't, of course. But when I looked at it the first time through, I was kind of like, I don't know if I can do that.
Because I saw it opened up, I think it was minus 13 when I saw it earlier, and it's 11.5 now. So sometimes sitting and waiting is treated well.
Yeah. I don't know if I can go against that at all. Let me look and see what I thought. Oh yeah, the Maryland strength schedule getting 11.5. I mean, little Tua. I don't know. I'm going to stay away from it. But if you want to look at the 4:00 slate, I will take your. So you had the audacity to take the UTEP Miners against UTSA last week, which was again just
foolish.
Just you're throwing away money.
It was very foolish.
Why you would ever bet against UTSA? I don't know. But I will take UTEP this week on the road -1 at North Texas. I will take them here. I like UTEP. Obviously not against maybe the best football team in all of the land in UTSA Roadrunners, but I will take them here against the 3-6 North Texas Green Wave or Green Wings or whatever they call themselves.
I think they're the Mean Green, I want to say.
Yeah, that makes more sense. They've got like the eagle. I mean, like it's Mean Green. Like what eagle is green?
Yeah.
Stupid name.
Another Texas school that popped up and needs a name. Another one I'm looking at.
They picked it out of a hat.
Another one I'm looking at. The UNLV running Rebs plus 3.5 at home. Come on. Give me back-to-back wins, boys. Give me back-to-back wins.
At Allegiant. It's Hawaii. UNLV strength of schedule 48. Hawaii 104.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, UNLV's got to play Iowa State, Arizona State, Fresno State, UTSA. I think Hawaii played. No, they have not. Oh, yeah. UNLV's got a meat grinder, man. Yeah. Carson Strong, San Jose State, UTSA, Fresno State, Iowa State, Arizona State.
It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Oh, yeah. I'll take the Rebs. I'll take one of my alma maters in the Rebels. That mid slate, I have nothing else. I don't think. Got Charlotte. I'm with you on Miami. I'd probably lean that way if I had to.
I mean, that's a complete bias pick. That's all right though. Sometimes you need to take them.
But let's go prime time. Have you ever seen a head coach of a team that plays that day be the celebrity guest picker on College Game Day?
No.
Well, Lane Kiffin was, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. So,
hey, you just want to hang out. Was Katy Perry on this morning? I didn't get a chance.
No, he filled in for Katy Perry.
Wow.
Yeah. What star power Lane Kiffin has. Like, that's huge.
I've thought long and hard about this game. Texas A&M's defense is scary good to the point where with Ole Miss just being as banged up as they are on offense, it's going to be a war. That one is. But then again, I mean, this is a prime spot for Matt Corral just to shake and shine, and I feel like he can. It's one of those games where it's in Oxford. It's in a primetime spot. Firmly believe Matt Corral is the best offensive player in the country. I just feel like he's going to find a way to get it done at home.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here before where this seems like, I don't know, Ole Miss is very hit or miss.
Yep.
Yes. That rhymes too, which is kind of awesome. DB's on UTEP as well. We're a pro UTEP show, except for when they play UTSA.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how we roll. When anybody plays UTSA, they will lose. That's what I'm saying. But no, I'm on. I looked at that one pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to take it strictly because of what is Matt Corral's current health like. Because we watched him, he's still kind of limping around. I don't know if he's at 100%.
Yeah, there's no way he can be with everything that we've seen so far this season. He's not just going to magically be healthy in a week.
If I have a 100% for sure healthy Matt Corral, then yeah, sure. Other than that, I don't know if I can trust it because I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Ole Miss there. That being said, I bet it and I took it. So, so give me Ole Miss minus the 2.5.
Yeah, it's the home dog thing too. We've seen him win outright. This is the system play that I got to stick with. Yeah. Ole Miss underdogs at home. Let's go.
Yep. Oh, you know what I forgot to go on 3 o'clock slate that no one will talk about? Florida International is getting 10 points on the road at Middle Tennessee. I love Florida International here. They're 1-8. They're 1-8. Don't care. Mid Tennessee State's 4-5. They're on the road. I think defensively, Middle Tennessee State does not match up. I think I would say right now, Florida International plus the 10.5, and I'm going to hammer the money line too at plus 315. Florida International. Give it a shot. But anyway, back to regular scheduled programming. We are in prime time. There are a couple good ones here, though.
There are. My eyes are on Virginia and Notre Dame. Is Armstrong healthy? I think is the big question mark. That number's gone in favor of the Cavaliers. I'll probably take him plus the points at home just because it's at home, but I will stay away if Brennan Armstrong is out.
I don't know, it's hard to bet against Notre Dame right now. It's a hard pass for me, I think.
Yeah, I might end up sitting that one out, but the eyes are on it, and I will overthink it all day sitting here.
Yeah, that's what sucks about these later games too. Is like you can bet, and then if you lose or win during the early slate, then all of a sudden these become a lot more important.
Yep, you get a little bit more confidence going.
Yeah, 7.5 though for Notre Dame. I mean, they're on a tear. 4 straight against the spread wins, including the 21 to Navy, the 7.5 to SC. They might be hitting their stride. I don't know, but Virginia is also a great covering team.
Yep, and they can score.
Yep. Yep. 48, 48, 66 are the last 3 games for points. They have never scored less than 30 points in any game they've played this whole year. That is concerning. Ugh. Over under 63. I might take the over.
Yeah. I was just thinking that too. But it all depends on Brennan Armstrong's status.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did put that up there on Twitter this morning. I'm gonna go to some Pac-12 because I love me some Pac-12. I've tried to bet Washington, I feel like multiple times, and they let me down every single time. And now Arizona State's on the road. I might take Arizona State minus the 5.5 or whatever it is, just because I hate Washington. I hate that team so much.
Yeah, and they just feel like they're in ruins too. Jimmy Lake's suspended. The debacle at the end of last week, which was one of the few games I was on the right side of.
I mean, like you look at their last couple games. Like, okay, they beat Arizona. Arizona's terrible. They beat Stanford. Stanford has been nothing since they beat Oregon. Like they've been literally the worst team in the Pac-12. And so, like, what do I expect from this Washington team? I think Arizona State is the superior team and should prove it. I would imagine now, as we're getting into this stage of Pac-12 play, like, yeah, they should be 7-3 coming out of this game, I would imagine.
No arguments there.
Yeah. So I'll take Arizona State. It's only 5 points, 5.5. Give me that. Can UK cover 21.5 at Vandy?
I would hope so. Vanderbilt is just, but then again, Kentucky is just in a downward slope. But it's a good bounce back spot for them. A completely inferior team.
Yeah, I didn't take it, but I was looking at it very hard. Can they? Because Vanderbilt will play close at times. 21 seems like too much for me. Actually, I would take Vanderbilt.
Home dog, too.
Yeah, I might take Vanderbilt. What other primetime? What are you looking at?
Well, it's past prime time, but I know everybody and their brother likes Washington State to cover 14 on the road at Oregon. I like Oregon to cover 13.5 at home. For whatever reason, I love betting them every week, and it's always sweating down to the end, and it either goes good or it goes bad. But number 3 team in the country at home, just continue to roll. The only thing I worry about is the look ahead because they do have Utah on the road next week. But I do like Oregon in this spot to just assert a little bit of dominance here, and I think they're going to be in the college football playoff when it's all said and done.
Well, I mean, they have the easiest schedule to get there.
Yes.
They're in right now. They have – I mean, Oregon State's has played well at times. Utah, who knows what they are. Washington State, they should beat by 1,000.
Washington State's actually been good since they fired their coach.
Well, that's how that usually works. Yeah. But since they fired their coach, who did they play? They played Stanford, who's terrible. BYU, who they lost to, and Arizona State, who honestly the Pac-12 as a whole is pretty sorry. I mean, Oregon's 8-1. They've covered 3 times. God, that's bad.
Yep.
Very bad.
I have this glutton of punishment where I just, for whatever reason, every week I want to believe in them.
I think I've taken them quite a few times too, and also missed quite a few times as well.
I like a couple dogs outright. I like LSU beating
Charlotte
at home. There it is.
Bam. DB gets it.
And I bet on Carson Strong all year, and I'm not coming off of him. I think Nevada wins at San Diego State tonight. Well, that's late, too.
Well, yeah, it's the West Coast. I'll tell you one that we haven't talked about yet. And it's going to be a true test of how good this football team really is. And it's a 3:30 game. And it's going to be the UTSA Roadrunners covering 33.5 at Southern Miss. I don't know if they've covered this sort of game all year long, but we're talking about the UTSA Roadrunners, best team in the country. They can cover 33.5.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, well, there's no signs that says that they wouldn't cover because that's all they do. They win and they cover.
If you have been riding the UTSA bandwagon as I have this whole year, you would have made a shit ton of money because all they do is cover and win football games.
Yep.
It's like that's all they know how to do down there. Now, I will say this. This is the largest margin they will have to cover. The last time they faced a margin of 21.5, the one time they did not cover was against my UNLV Running Rebels. So this is the true test of whether or not they can cover. Yeah, UTSA money line is a absolute lock for sure. but this is the biggest spread they've had all year. Normally, I don't know why Vegas has made it so easy to bet on them, because most of the lines are never more than 3 touchdowns. So 33 is a lot. But, I mean, they're in the hunt now a little bit. I would think they feel like that now that they're actually in the top 25 for the college football playoff. Obviously, they'll never get in there, but, you know, for a small school like that to be even recognized, that's huge. And you got to, like it's undefeated or bust for them.
Right. And, you know, it's prime bowl game position, too. If they're undefeated at the end of the season, they're going to get better nods at better bowl games, and that's a lot more money in their pocket and a lot of good things for their program moving in the future. Because their coach signed through like 2031, I think I saw. Like some,
Is that right?
Some crazy extension.
Roadrunners for life, bro. Speaking of the way the playoff is, I've seen this and I want to put it up there. How about this 16-team playoff format? As of right now, well, obviously you have some of these noon games have kicked off. Who's an upset here you'd take?
I would take Texas A&M over Michigan.
Okay.
I might actually take Wake Forest over Cincinnati.
Well,
but
Cincinnati looked so vulnerable last night.
Yeah, I was on the right side. I took South Florida plus the points. They cover at home for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, so we get the Final Four. It's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and I don't know. I think Texas A&M would beat Oregon. So maybe A&M would be the upset to slide through and get their hand on Alabama again.
Yeah, what a spot for A&M.
Yeah.
For an SEC team to be in that kind of bracket. That's kind of why the bracket system is pretty cool, because that team never stands a chance of getting out of the SEC by themselves.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they do.
Yeah, what? Because they're looking at what, a 12-team playoff? I saw.
This one's 16. Yeah, they've looked at everything for years. They looked at 8. They looked at 6. They look at God knows what.
Yeah, I think 8. I'm not a big fan of the first round bye, personally.
Dennis, no one's ignoring you. You like Texas today. Do you want me to beat your comments up? Is that what you want? Jesus. Did we talk about Texas at all? No.
Well, they're playing Kansas, and it's a night game. So.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Kansas stuck it to. UConn up 7-0 already. Thank you very much.
Will they take a kickback?
I don't know. Yeah, it's 15 seconds in. UConn's up 7-0.
Rutgers up 7-2.
I knew I should have took them. Son of a bitch. Yep. UConn up 7-0. Rutgers up 7-0. There's only 2 touchdowns we see so far in the early slate. Damn it. I knew I should have took Rutgers. Yeah, UConn easily covers. Clemson's already at 4th and 4. And UConn's beating them 7-0. Dude, UConn might win this game. I might live bet the money line. I'm doing it right now.
What an upset that would be.
I'm doing it, too. This is the sad part.
I like it. It's only crazy until it actually happens.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's do this. Here's what's going to happen. So, Dennis, you're online right now. I'm going to put in my FCS parlay. If it wins, you get 25% because I seen you or DB, one of our commenters. One of our commenters is going to get 25% if it hits, which will be a shit ton of money. Just because, we thank you guys for hanging out with us. All right. So,
second TV.
Yeah, get up there. Do that. UConn. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much how we'll decide, DB. Where's UConn? Connecticut plus 32, taking money line right now at plus 5,500 for $10. Pays out $5.50. Give it to me. All right. That being said, let's go straight into the FCS parlay. This will be, obviously, a lot of these have kicked off already, so I won't do that. So let's go Colgate Lafayette. Ooh, Colgate plus 9.5. Lafayette 9.5. Home favorites.
Ooh.
All right, first go. Colgate Lafayette. Who are you taking?
Colgate minus 9.5 at home.
Okay, Lafayette's minus 9.5 at home. So, all right. So you said Colgate, so I'll take Lafayette covering the 10 because you didn't know who the teams were. Morgan State plus 26.5 at home to Albany.
Plus 26 at home. Give me points at home.
No, it's not. It's not home.
They're at Albany?
Yeah.
They can clean the shit out of my ears, I guess.
Or I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. Okay, so we skipped that game. LIU on the road at Bryant. Bryant is a 12.5 point favorites at home.
Give me Bryant.
Bryant? All right, take LIU. Hampton at Campbell. Campbell minus 12.5 at home. Campbell's good, I think, maybe. The Brown Bears at Columbia.
Ooh.
Brown is a 10.5 point road dog.
That's a rivalry game. I would take points in a rivalry game.
Yeah, and Brown is where what's his name from Varsity Blues was going to go, so we'll take that. Norfolk State at Delaware State. Delaware State 9.5 point home dog.
Oh, home dog all day.
Yep, home dog. Delaware State. Let's go. Holy Cross minus 1.5. Fordham is the home dog. Vince Lombardi's home school. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done. Ooh, the Stetson Hatters at Morehead State. Stetson is a plus 13.5 on the road. Morehead, however, was a Ohio Valley school when I was in college. We played against them. 13.5 at home.
Ooh. Home favorite. Let's rock. That's an all school.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look at the Ohio Valley Conference. We've got Jimmy Garoppolo coming out of there. We got Tony Romo coming out of there. We got some good teams. Marist Red Foxes versus Presbyterian. That doesn't even sound like a real game, so I'm going to skip it. Yale versus Princeton. Oh, fuck.
Rivalry game.
Oh, boy. Princeton's at home. 8.5 point favorites at home.
Ooh. What's the win-loss record on those teams?
I have no fucking idea. That's not the point of what we're doing.
I mean, rivalry game. Take the points.
Yeah. God damn it. That's tough. Yale did recruit me weirdly until they found out that I had a 24 on my ACT and they couldn't get in there. So let's take Yale. Eastern Kentucky. I like Eastern Kentucky versus Sammy's. Eastern Kentucky's a 20.5 point road dog. Eastern Kentucky was a very good, they were contenders every year when I was in college for the OVC title. And they're getting 20 points on the road at Sam Houston. I got to go with my conference school.
Yes. I'm with you there.
Yeah. Stony Brook at Villanova. Villanova 17.5 point favorites at home.
Got to go Villanova.
Yeah, that feels like Nova.
Yeah.
North Carolina Central -2.5. Howard 2.5-point favorites at home.
Oof.
That's tough. That's tough.
I saw. Sorry to interrupt, but they just showed how UConn scored. It was the opening kickoff, and there was a lot of confusion by UConn. Looked like they were going to down it at the 1. They picked it up and then took it to the house.
Fuck yeah. Hey, dude, I told you UConn +40. Let's go.
Lock of the century.
NC Howard. Let's see. I mean, Howard 2.5 at home. Right?
Yeah.
We take Howard. Let's take Howard. All right. North Carolina A&T, Agriculture and Technology, on the road to South Carolina State, who is 3.5-point road or home dogs.
Home dogs.
Home dogs. Let's go. Oh, East Tennessee didn't show up. VMI at Furman. Furman, 2.5-point favorites home. I'm taking Furman.
Yep.
South Dakota State Jackrabbits on the road, 10.5-point favorites at South Dakota.
Ooh.
At a military school, South Dakota State got a ticket.
Yeah. The Jackrabbits.
You cannot take the Jackrabbits. Gotta. Delaware, former Joe Flacco school, on the road at Richmond. Richmond is 5.5-point favorites.
Ooh, got to go with the Fighting Flaccos.
Fighting Flaccos it is. All right. SEMO, Southeast Missouri State, on the road at Murray State. Murray State's 2.5-point home dog. SEMO, both these schools were really bad when I was there.
I mean, got to go home dog, I guess.
Murray was, I don't know. Maybe we skipped that. Oh, Mississippi Valley State +4.5 at home. Got to take it. Jerry Rice.
That's right.
Elon +3.5 on the road at Townsend. This will be the last one I do, because this parlay is already up to like $342,000.
Townsend -3.5.
Townsend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. All right, here we go. 17-leg parlay. $10 wins $678,000. That has officially been placed. So Dennis or DB, if that hits, which it won't, but if it does, one of you gets $67,000 from me.
Let's play rock, paper, scissors for it.
Yeah. Well, or you can split it. I don't care. Yeah. But that is a real thing, and I will continue to do that every day for the rest of my life. Auburn up 7-0 over Mississippi State. That sucks. UConn still winning 7-3. I love it.
Looks like Baylor's going to have about 4th and 3 inside the 10 here against Oklahoma. It's a big decision coming for Dave Aranda and the boys.
Yeah. I could actually start bringing these games up. I was way too infatuated with that for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, they're going for it. It's 4th and 2. Baylor's going for it.
Oh, good. I can watch Mississippi State and over. And I need
an important piece of this Mississippi State offense.
And we're canceled.
As you see, the tackle
ESPN's coming for us.
up around the net.
That's good. I think that would help our case. I mean, well, okay, so SMU tied it at 7. We did remember the channel we found a week ago
Oh yeah, where she was streaming every game.
Yeah, she streamed every single game on YouTube.
Like
we should just do it until they kick us off. I feel like.
New Mexico State 3, Alabama 0.
No.
Halfway through the first.
Dude, if New Mexico State beats Alabama, imagine that.
Alabama still within.
There's 10 minutes gone in that game, too.
I know. Alabama still has a 99.6% chance to win, which actually has gone up since the 99.5% chance they had to win going in.
Like when Alabama lost last time, you seen those videos of the family of that kicker?
No.
Oh yeah, the camera on the family of the kicker when he kicked the field goal to win it.
When was that? This
when
season?
When Alabama lost
to A&M?
Yeah.
I don't know if I caught that.
Anyway, well, get on the internet. God damn, what do you live under a rock?
Yeah, sometimes I like to take a breather.
Jesus.
I see these terrible quarterback takes, and it puts me in a bad mood.
Well, especially right now with Aaron Rodgers and everything that's going on. All of a sudden, he's a terrible quarterback because he didn't get the fucking vaccine, which is hilarious. But no, yeah, they showed the kicker's family when he kicked that field goal to win the game. And like them crying and stuff. That's how I would imagine like in that party that would have happened afterwards.
Yeah.
Like I was at Florida State when they beat Miami, like Jameis Winston Heisman year, national championship year, when Florida State was number 1 and Miami was number 2. I was at that game and I was in Tallahassee for the party afterwards.
Oh, I bet you that was.
Dude, it was absolutely insane. And what I would imagine New Mexico being like, if they were to beat Alabama, it would be like people would die in the streets. The thought of that just makes me happy.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in New Mexico are actually paying attention to that game. I think we might have more eyes on that game than people.
I mean, I think that the school would,
Yeah, when you get it,
when we used to play, when we played Penn State or we played Purdue or we played Central Michigan, any 1A school, I think our school was pretty
locked in,
focused on that game. They could care less when we played like a conference opponent, but when we played like a big school, they wanted to know, how we did. So I would think New Mexico. I mean, what do you do down there in New Mexico besides like play football?
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do anything.
New Mexico coming off that loss to the running Rebs, maybe they got a little.
I swear to God, if UConn beats Clemson, that would be the greatest moment of my life. Syracuse 3, Louisville 7, Penn State. Fuck you, Penn State. I don't like any of this starts except for UConn.
Army up 14-0 against Bucknell already.
Fucking Bucknell. True story. The guy who recruited me when I was at Eastern Illinois he played football at Bucknell.
I wonder what that's like. It's just a name.
Well, Bucknell didn't have a football program for a few years. They only had a basketball school. They only played basketball for a while. Come on.
Ooh, Caleb Williams picked off. Baylor gets the ball at their 35.
You see Caleb Williams kicked off?
Picked off.
Oh, kicked. I thought you said kicked off. I was like, oh, wow, he's doing everything. D-Rest has got an in. He said he's going to text God right now.
Perfect.
What are we going to ask for, D-Rest?
If we should do the money line parlay of LSU and Nevada tonight.
Yeah, solid. All right.
After I spoke earlier to not needing to parlay everything.
I mean, I would imagine God knows what he's talking about. Remember when I said the secondary of Auburn was bad?
You're proving that theory to be correct.
No. Oh, targeting. Get out of there. Here we go. Smoke Monday. He's getting kicked out, which is a great name.
There's some all-world names this season that have popped.
Like all world.
Yeah.
Smoke Monday would be one of them.
Cavassier Smoke, the running back for Kentucky, that's a first teamer there for me.
Dude, Smoke Monday. Dude, Rocky Lombardi. Like just imagine like an all-world name team. Obviously, Rocky Lombardi would play quarterback.
Yes.
I would have Smoke Monday in my secondary. Because I do love that name.
I think Tank Bigsby needs to get a little bit more recognition. Big Rig at tight end.
I don't even know what his first name is, but his last name's Rig, and his nickname is probably Big. So, Big Rig.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Big Cat Bryant, the D lineman at UCF.
Oh, yeah, Big Cat. Yeah. Former Auburn guy, right?
Yep. Went there with Gus.
Oh, they reversed the targeting call. When have you ever seen a targeting call reversed? I don't think I've ever seen a targeting call reversed, to be honest. 9 times out of 10, they kick them out. So Smoke Monday's still playing.
Wisconsin running back Brandon Allen already has 92 yards rushing on 9 carries in the first quarter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my God. Bo, what are you doing? Or not Bo, Will. Holding on the offense. Okay. Fucking Mississippi State, dude. It's going to piss me off. You're better than this, boys. Let's go. What game are you watching?
I got Baylor, Oklahoma up in Wisconsin, second screen.
Well, put quite a bit of money on Mississippi State. They're letting me down, so maybe I'll switch over so we can watch the same one. What do you got going on?
Baylor and Oklahoma.
What's it on Fox?
Yep.
You get Northwestern Wisconsin?
Yep.
I do actually want to watch Baylor, Oklahoma.
There's a lot of talk this week about Cincinnati getting in the playoff, and they might, right? Like if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game, I don't think.
Okay, so that's actually funny you mentioned that because let's bring up then what I got it here somewhere. So the way it stands right now, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Georgia, I feel like is going to go.
Oh, this is last week. It's got to be last week. Michigan State's at 7 now.
No. Yeah, actually, because there was a lot of.
They lost.
There's a lot of outrage around Michigan being put ahead of Michigan State.
That's right. Nope, that's Sunday. That's this.
I mean,
I had another graphic of that. Trying to find it.
I mean, with Oklahoma, they're going to have to play Baylor in Oklahoma. Well, they're playing Baylor now, but they got Oklahoma State. They're going to have to play one of those two again, most likely.
There it is.
So there's some wars ahead. I think Georgia runs the table. I don't think that's a big secret. But then, what do you do if Alabama goes or they went out to play in the SEC championship game and Georgia beats them. Do you keep them in, or do you treat that like a play-in game?
Well, Cincinnati's undefeated still. God, I mean, that 0 should hold more weight than I think it typically does, right?
And you look at Alabama's best win, Ole Miss, a solid win, but is it as good as Cincinnati going to South Bend, Indiana, and beating Notre Dame, who's also a top 10 team? I mean,
yeah,
that's where it tickles me a little bit because I think Michigan State, they'll end up losing at least one more time.
Well, just the fact that you've got look at 6 and 7. Who beat 6?
7.
It doesn't make sense.
I know.
What are we doing? I mean, I hate the whole committee thing because I just don't. It's like
I get it.
I'd rather have the AP.
Yes.
AP top 25. I don't know, because that's what we've gone off of forever for. Well, obviously the BCS had their own ranking for a long time, but at the same time, it's like, let's just do one. Now it's like we're boxing, where we have different, you've got the WBC, you got the BCW, you have all these different factions, making the rules. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Just have one. That's all. Yeah. That's all you need.
Even if they did the BCS rankings and they put the top 4 teams from the BCS rankings in, and I don't think. I mean, there's always going to be a cry fest, right? The 5th team in the rankings is going to be crying. If they go to 8 teams, it's going to be the 9th team. It's if they go to 12, it's going to be the 13th and 14th. It's just
Oh well.
I mean, does Michigan or Michigan State?
But they have that kind of discrepancy between what you have the AP poll at and what you've got. You still don't have Oklahoma up there at all. They're undefeated.
I mean, if they go undefeated in the Big 12 and they have wins over Baylor and Oklahoma State, how do you keep them out? I mean, especially if it's a 2-loss Alabama team. And this isn't like the Alabama team that we've seen in the past. This Alabama team.
I mean, this is the Alabama team that was losing 3-0 just a minute ago to New Mexico State.
And struggled with LSU last week.
Yep.
I mean, losing at Texas A&M, justifiable. That defense is really good. Kyle Field's a tough place to play. You can get past that. But they're just not beating everybody by 30 points every week.
Yeah, I mean, you would see when they were the 30-point favorites before, 2 years ago, a year ago. Those 30-point favorite games, everyone they'd still take 90% of the money.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not. They're just.
It's not the case anymore. People will take. I mean, you'll take anybody else. I mean, to me, the fact that OU. Just the name OU is undefeated.
And they're at 8.
To me, that blows my mind. Especially, too, because this is going to be a SEC school in a year or two.
Yeah, I was going to say, if not next season, the season after.
Yeah. Especially now, too. I mean, they're in a good spot. If they go undefeated, they get in. If they go undefeated, they got to be in.
They have to.
I don't care what they are in the actual poll with the BCS bullshit.
But even you look, so let's say Oklahoma does run the table. What's their best win out of that? Oklahoma State? Is that still better than beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame? Notre Dame's probably going to be a 1-loss team at the end of the year.
I mean, well, so let's say Georgia goes undefeated.
Yep.
Ohio State, I mean, they could still lose to Michigan. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, they still got to play Sparty, Michigan, and they most likely got to play Wisconsin. And anything can happen.
Here's the thing is Oregon's 3 right now. Who are they going to lose to in the Pac-12?
They play at Utah, and following the Pac-12.
But Utah.
Sometimes some of those games at Utah, man, they're just trash.
I get it, but for the sake of argument, let's say they go 11-1, which they should.
They're in with a win at Ohio State and winning the Pac-12. They're in.
Yeah. Man, it just seems like the top four are kind of in the deadline, unless Ohio State loses, and even like Michigan. Okay, so if Michigan's the one to beat Ohio State, and say Michigan State wins out,
So if Michigan State went out to put Ohio State with 2 losses or 3 losses if Michigan beat them. So I mean,
that's right. They still got Ohio State left to go.
Yeah,
you're right. That's going to be interesting because you've got those 3. It does seem though like if it almost puts Cincinnati on the outside, because as soon as one of those 3 Big Ten schools beats the other, it's going to inject them in the top 4.
Right. I mean, that's because that's the thing is, Michigan beats Ohio State. That's a better win than beating Notre Dame. If Michigan State beats Ohio State and beats Michigan, they already beat Michigan. Those are better wins than beating Notre Dame, it feels like.
Yeah, they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, this is
unless Oregon or Georgia loses. Other than that, I mean, god damn, they're not in a good spot.
And I mentioned it earlier this season. I mean, even if Cincinnati gets in, they'll be the 4th team, and they beat Notre Dame, so they just take Notre Dame's spot as the 4th team in the playoff and just gets beat by 40 by Georgia in the semis.
Well, I mean, whoever the 4th team is, you're going to play Georgia, and you're going to lose. I mean, you could that's kind of the weird thing of the playoff is, and I do think that if you expanded the playoff, you do get a little bit more, like as far as recruiting goes, you have a little bit more pull for certain players, because when the playoff is 4 teams and it's clear, like, okay, there's 4 teams here, Georgia's going to run the table, and they're going to win. Now, if you have 8 teams, you have 16 teams, like the one we showed earlier, where it's like, well, I can go there and I can be in the playoff. I can be in the national spotlight. And I have a much easier shot at being a starter, being a starter, being the guy for that team. I think recruiting is flipped on its head.
Yep.
If you have that sort of opportunities for some of these guys, as opposed to just the 4 teams, everyone's going to go to Alabama, everyone's going to go to Ohio State, everyone's going to go to Clemson or wherever.
Yep.
So I think it not only helps like the just SEC dominance that we've seen, or the SEC plus Ohio State dominance in the playoffs. I mean, it's
and again, Ohio State still has a pretty tough schedule ahead.
Yeah,
both Michigan schools, and no matter how the Big Ten West shakes out, I mean, they're going to go up against a pretty solid defense.
But I do give them credit for scheduling Oregon.
Yes.
At least taking a shot, because obviously if they beat Oregon,
it's lights out.
Then they could have won. They could have lost one of those games. They still in.
Yep.
Yeah. So I give them credit for that. In the day and age of where we're at with these, it's not even Power 5 anymore. It's almost Power 2.
Yes.
Or Power 1, I would say. Let's just say, I mean, top 2 in the SEC go, and the Big Ten, Pac-12, and everyone else can figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. I mean, if you swap Wake Forest's name to Clemson, they're probably sitting up there.
Yeah, Clemson's in top 6 for sure. I would just like to give Cincinnati some love, man. It sucks that they didn't play well last night. I mean,
they haven't.
You threw 3. You had 3 turnovers on 5 plays, and you still won by 20?
Holy shit! Quick pause. Shefty just tweeted out that Robert Woods tore his ACL on Friday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did
Did they know that prior to signing OBJ? Because they did. Baylor just threw a bomb. He had the dude wide open. He overthrew him.
And you want to know what sucks is I dropped Odell in fantasy a couple weeks ago.
Shut up. Good move.
Oh. All right, Bama's starting to settle in now. They just like Saban just likes teasing us a little bit.
Yeah, giving New Mexico State 3 points and then running it. Rutgers up 14-0 though. God damn it, Rutgers. I knew I should have bet them. How about Samford? 14-14 with Florida.
What? Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Wow.
Did not see that one coming.
No, not even a little bit. So we're reaching the end of the first quarter in a lot of these games. Do we want to sign off? Or are we going to you want to talk about the NFL now? Or do you want to just do it tomorrow?
I'm good with either or.
Yeah, DB says Florida's dog shit. I agree.
Yeah, you're not wrong by that statement, my friend.
No, not even that much. All right, well, let's pause this conversation. Let's all just go watch college football. And then we will pick up tomorrow. Let's say you want to go to 11?
Sure.
Tomorrow at 11, we'll run through all of the NFL plays that we're going to do, which should hopefully go a lot quicker than this.
Yeah, because there's,
I don't know. I'm watching this Matt Damon commercial right now. I'm not sure what it's for. Anyway, all right. So let's sign off. We will pick this up tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Degen U, which is now what I've decided to call this because I don't know what else to call it. Degen U, the Pro Tour. Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Degen U Pro Tour will commence tomorrow at 11 a.m. as we will get you all started for the massive NFL slate, which there's a lot to talk about.
There is. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to overthink in this weekend slate.
So much to overthink, and we will overthink it all. Real quick, later on, run through what you've got going on later on today. Not the noon games, but whatever else you got.
Taking Sparty to cover 11.5. Going to see if that moves. I'm going to take Ole Miss outright. Sitting on Virginia until we figure out the status of Brennan Armstrong. Probably going to take LSU and Nevada outright. They're underdogs that I like. See if we can't get a money line parlay juice there. Oregon covering at home against Washington State. I know it goes against everything in the world that we have talked about, but I think this is a good spot for Oregon. And, of course, those beautiful Hurricanes of Miami going to Tallahassee and just pounding Florida State.
Solid. Yep. I'm going to try the Roadrunners at 33. I can't guarantee they'll cover, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to take the Tennessee plus 20 at home. I think their hooker will help them score some points, keep that close. No guarantee of a win, but I do think they'll keep it competitive. Maybe Charlotte, the 49ers on the road, plus the 7. FIU on the road, plus 10. And do I have anything else? I don't think so. UTEP, -1 on the road. So, all right. So that's the picks. He already tweeted out his. I might tweet out mine throughout the rest of the day. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully my massive $800,000 parlay hits or whatever it was for. And then we can just flip a coin and see if D-Rest, DB, or Dennis Trusty gets about $200K out of that. So thank you guys. We will see you tomorrow morning for some NFL action. Thanks, Degen. We'll see you tomorrow.